somebody texted me right at the beginning of our session yesterday, and so I got like 2 minutes of it before it was gone. So I guess I'm recording this class by myself with the sun in my eyes and on a slanted driveway. Best I can do. All right, here we go. We started in 90-90. Remember that in 90-90, we're attempting to sit up as straight over this hip as we can, finding the sweet spot. So if we lean all the way out, we make it really easy. This leg in internal rotation is getting nothing at all. If we get up too high and lean too far, we're putting ourselves in a position where we cannot work. So we're finding the space that is somewhere in between, using the hand if we need to, but allowing ourselves to balance up and off of it as much as we need to. We're staying for about 2 minutes in this back leg, just trying to rotate this thigh bone forward. This leg, if we need something under the knee to keep it pressing down to remind us and give us some feedback, we use that. For most of us yesterday, we were okay without it. All right, and then after spending that time here, you should be feeling this in the outside of this right hip, bringing your attention back to this back leg. You're gonna attempt to lift that ankle up off the ground, and you're driving it up for about 5 seconds. If you got any space under that ankle, take something and put it under there to drop down. So now you're forcing yourself deeper into internal rotation on the next round. You're gonna drive down into whatever you just put under your ankle, or maybe back into the ground. Hold that for about 10 seconds, and then again, lift off. Trying to stay up straight and tall. The more you lean forward, the easier you make it. Try to stay up over your hips. Lift this ankle up. Now I just went higher, so I get to turn that block up, and then I'm gonna drop back down into it. As I'm sitting here, I'm pressing down into the block. That's forcing this hip further into internal rotation. And then I'm gonna try to keep it just like that. And one more time, lift off for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm gonna take that prop out, drop my leg back down. And then we took this out of the shortest position and we're gonna move it to the longest position. But first, we're gonna lift that entire leg off in order to get the lift that we want. Staying up as tall as you can. Lift and hold. Try to fight to get your ankle and your knee as high as possible. And then drop it back down. Sit up a little bit taller. And again, lift and hold. Drop it down. One more time, lift off. Release. Next, we're gonna try to lift this leg off and then think of your thigh bone rolling into the socket. So watch my fist turn up. That's my arm bone driving my fist up. We want that same thing happening with your femur and your ankle. So you're gonna lift off, and as you extend, drive your thigh bone back. Hold it there. Now drop down and think of that same rotation happening. Roll your femur toward me. Sit up tall. Keep this side driving down. Roll your femur away. Try not to move your hips. Stay in that position. Groove out some new space. Roll forward. Roll back. One more time. Roll forward. Roll it back. Try not to lean any more than you have to. Lift off. Make that hip flexor hold. Keep your big toe rolling up. And now, roll your thigh forward. Bring that leg back. Drop it down. We're going to bring our attention up to this front leg. Take this block. Place it right here. Now, fold forward. You should be driving tension down into the back of your right hip joint. This left leg stays pressing down. Drive down. Lift off. Do it again. Press down. Lift. One more time, press. Lift. Now we're gonna add some movement. Hold. As you lift up, try to squeeze this block. Lift your ankle up as high as your knee. Squeeze. Drop it down. Fold down. Lift up. Squeeze, space out. Drop it down. Fold down. Lift up, squeeze the space out. Drop down, remove the block. Now we're gonna lift up just like we were squeezing that block. Now rotate, your thigh bone rolls in. You're turning your toes up. Hold it right there. Roll your toe in as far as you can, drop it down. Now we're gonna sit up tall, bring this block back. Try to keep your toes facing up and not rolled to the outside. Here we go, fold forward. Remember, if this is pushing into the back of your knee, go ahead and bend your knee slightly and drive your heel down instead. We want to feel this in the hamstring. Press and lift up. Keep driving the left side down, fold forward. Lift up. Do it again, fold. Lift. And then again, adding the hip flexor in its longest position, fold. And lift. Drop down, fold. Fight to keep your toes facing straight up. Drop down, fold. Lift. Pull this leg in, drop it back into 90-90. Grab your blocks. Here we go, 3 times, lift and lower. Ready, you're fighting for external rotation, bringing your ankle up in line with your knee. Lift off, drop down, and then the last 2, you're gonna lift, extend, pull back in, and drop down. Ready, it's up, out, in, down, up, out, in, and down. Switch over to the other side. Take a look at this front knee. If you can tell, mine is facing out to the left a little too much. I want this thigh bone to come directly out of the socket. Again, if you need something pressing down under your knee to give you some feedback, hold this position for about 2 minutes. Let the body know that you want to get something out of this hip right here. All right, and then as you're ready, here we go. Lifting that back leg, hovering. Putting something under it if you were able to do it. And again, lift off, hold. Turn it up a little higher. Drop down, press down. And again, lift. Take your prop out, drop your foot down. All right, here we go. Back leg is gonna lift and hover. Lower. Hover. Lower down. One more, hover. And lower. Now we're gonna add the extension. Remember, thinking of thigh bone rotating in the socket. Ready, lift off. Knee up, rotate the thigh back. Extend the leg straight, hold. Drop down, sit up as tall as you can. And now thigh bone rolls forward and back. Forward, back. Forward, back. Try to sit up tall, hover. Bend, roll your thigh forward, put this leg back in 90. Now here we go, the block comes to the front leg. Ready, fold forward. Lift. Down. And up. Down. And up. Now adding a little bit more external rotation by trying to get your ankle, your thigh to squeeze that block into your torso, your ankle lifting up as high as your knee or as much as you can. Lift and hold. Drop down. Lift. Fight for more space right here. Keep pulling that ankle up. Drop down. One more. Pull it up. Squeeze out the space. Drop it down. Now, focusing on hip flexor, we're going to try to lift, rotate that thigh bone in, turning your toes toward the ceiling. Ready? Lift off, rotate, drop down. Bringing the block in, here we go again. Hover forward, lift up, lower, lift, one more, lower, lift. Now adding the hip flexor lift in this longest position, fold down. Try to lift up. Do it again, fold. Lift off. One more time, fold. Lift. Fold that leg back into 90. Grab both of your blocks. Here we go. Lift off. Fight those ankles up high. Drop down. This time we're lifting, extending, lifting, dropping. Ready? Lift, extend, pulling back in, drop down. This is really hard on a slanted driveway. Do it anyway. Ready? Lift off, extend, pull them back, drop it down. Bring yourself into a straddle position. Now you want to get in the widest straddle you can get with your toes facing backwards. So again, not allowing my feet to roll forward. You can try that. You'll feel something completely different here in the adductors, rolling them back. So if you can't sit that wide and keep your toes back, then make your stance a little narrower so that you can find that position. We're working on inner thigh here. All right, and then remember, building strength in these positions. Take your arms out and bring yourself down. Lift yourself back up. Do it again, trying to get a little further each time. Lift. We're doing 3 more. Lower. Lift. Lower. Jerome, thank you. Lift. One more. Lower. I'm fighting to keep my toes back. I can't go as far as I want to go with my toes back. I'm going to keep fighting it anyway. And now, toes are back, grooving back as far in that space as I can get, rolling forward as far as I can get without shifting my upper body. Good, and now back and forward. Hey, Jerome. Hey, Jerome, come here. Forward and back. 2 more times. Front, back. Last one. Front and back. You know what? I forgot that shoulder stretch we did. So take your legs in a little bit narrower. Nah, just come back to 90-90. The same arm as the back leg, so you're gonna rotate your belly button toward the knee of the front leg. The arm that's the same as the back leg. Here you go. You're gonna lift up. Try to keep your belly button turned toward your front knee and then rotate the whole bicep before you go. Then reach your arm back as high as you can behind you. Create the rest of the circle by dropping your hand down. Your pinky is now facing your thigh. Now lift up as high as you can. Keep your belly button turned. Rotate your whole bicep back up and then pull your arm up as close to your ear as you can get. Drop it down. If you're able to turn any further, do it on this time. Ready? Lift up. Keep your shoulders turned. Get as much space as you can get. Rotate your whole bicep before you go. And now big circle to the back, keeping your arm up as high as you can get it. Complete the circle. Come to the other side. Drop it down. Switch to 90-90 on the other side. Rotate. Front hand goes down. Keep your belly button turned over that front knee. Lift. Rotate. Reach back. Complete the circle. Lift up as high as you can. Rotate. Pull it up by your ear. Drop it down. Rotate further if possible. Lift. Rotate. Reach back. Bring it down. Lift. Rotate. Pull it up. Drop it down.